What if your tank could shut down enemy spellcasters before they ever cast a spell? The Inquisitor in Monsters and Memories doesn't just absorb damage, it silences enemies, drains their mana, strips their buffs, and controls the battlefield. If you like playing tanks that dominate encounters instead of just surviving them, this might be one of the most interesting classes in the game. Well met, adventurers. I'm Arthax. Today we're continuing the class overview series for Monsters and Memories, taking a closer look at how each class plays, the abilities that define them, and what makes them unique. In this video, we're diving into the Inquisitor. In group play, the Inquisitor primarily functions as a tank, but what makes the class unique is the amount of crowd control and utility it brings to the group. Rather than simply absorbing damage, the Inquisitor focuses on disrupting enemy spellcasters, draining mana, and controlling dangerous enemies before they can threaten the group. Because of this, the Inquisitor typically fills the role of a tank with strong crowd control and utility, helping stabilize encounters while shutting down enemy magic. The Inquisitor is essentially an anti-magic specialist. Where other tanks rely primarily on armor and threat generation, the Inquisitor adds an entirely different layer of defense by disabling enemy spellcasting and draining their resources. This creates a very tactical playstyle where you're constantly thinking about which enemies need to be controlled, which targets need their mana drained, and which spellcasters need to be silenced or stunned. This makes the class especially valuable in encounters where enemy casters are the primary threat. The Inquisitor's playstyle revolves around battlefield control while maintaining tank responsibility. You'll be responsible for holding aggro and protecting your group, using abilities like Taunt and Slam to maintain threat. But at the same time, you'll be actively using abilities that disrupt enemy magic. This includes slowing enemy casting speed, draining enemy mana pools, silencing dangerous targets, and controlling enemies through mesmerize effects. Because of this toolkit, the Inquisitor often feels like a hybrid between a tank and a control specialist, like Enchanter. Players who enjoy tactical gameplay and managing multiple threats at once will likely find this class extremely rewarding. Let's take a look at some of the abilities that define the Inquisitor's playstyle. One of the first things you'll notice is the class's strong crowd control toolkit. Abilities like Mesmerize, Captivate, and later Hypnotize allow the Inquisitor to put enemies to sleep for an extended period of time. This can be incredibly useful for splitting pools or controlling additional enemies during difficult encounters. The Inquisitor also has access to Silence and Mandate of Silence, which prevent enemies from casting spells entirely for a short period of time. Against caster enemies, this can completely change how the fight unfolds. Another defining feature of the class is its mana drain abilities. The Mana Burn line allows the Inquisitor to drain mana directly from enemies while converting that mana into damage. Later abilities like Explode Mana and Destroy Mana continue this theme of turning an enemy's magical power against them. In addition to draining mana, the class can also weaken enemies through mental attacks like Torment, Traumatize, and Dread, which deal magic damage while reducing intelligence, wisdom, charisma, and mana regeneration. These abilities reinforce the Inquisitor's role as a spellcaster disruptor. On the defensive side, the Inquisitor has several magical protection tools. The Spell Shield line increases health, armor class, and magic resistance. Abilities like Mana Ward and Arcane Ward can absorb incoming spell damage. And Arcane Protection can temporarily make a group member completely immune to magic. These defensive abilities allow the Inquisitor to protect both themselves and their allies from magical threats. Beyond tanking and control, the Inquisitor also brings strong utility to a group. The class provides buffs such as Haste, which increases melee and ranged attack speed. It offers resistance buffs like Magic Protection and Holy Protection, helping the group withstand magical damage. The Inquisitor also has several dispel abilities, including Purge and Greater Purge, which remove beneficial effects from enemies. This can be extremely useful when fighting enemies that rely on buffs or magical defenses. Because of this wide range of tools, the Inquisitor can often fill multiple roles during an encounter. Tanking the primary enemy, controlling additional mobs, and disrupting dangerous spellcasters. The biggest strength of the Inquisitor is battlefield control. Few classes can shut down enemy casters as effectively as the Inquisitor. The combination of crowd control, silences, mana drains, and defensive magic wards give the class an incredible amount of influence over how the encounters play out. However, the class does have some trade-offs. The Inquisitor does not provide healing, and its damage output is generally moderate rather than high. Because of this, the class shines most in group environments where its control and utility can benefit the entire party. If you enjoy playing tanks that offer more than just survivability, the Inquisitor might be a great choice. Players who like battlefield control, disrupting enemy spellcasters, managing multiple threats, and supporting the group with powerful utility will likely find this class very rewarding. It's a more tactical tanking experience, where understanding enemy abilities and controlling the fight is just as important as holding aggro. And that's a look at the Inquisitor in Monsters and Memories. If you enjoy tactical gameplay, shutting down enemy spellcasters, and supporting your group through control and magical defenses, the Inquisitor could be a great class for you to explore. I'd love to hear from you. Does the Inquisitor look like a class you'd want to play, or are you leaning towards something else? Let me know down in the comments. And if there's another class you'd like to see covered next, drop that below as well. Until next time, adventurers, be well.